the Perkins case, it is a wife who kills her wife. There had been escalating violence.
In November 2022, Shakiyah Perkins shot out of the house she shared with her wife, Cornisha Perkins, stalked to her car, and came back with a gun in her left hand. Then Shakiyah shot Cornisha in the head and killed her.
It's November 16th, 2022, in Atlanta, Georgia. 35-year-old mother of 4, Cornisha Butler, had finally started to feel free. After years of a volatile and dangerous relationship, she had begun to piece together a life of her own. She had just bought a new home, her children were safe, and she was excited about the future. But on that morning, her life was stolen in cold blood by the very person a court had ordered to stay away. Her ex-girlfriend, Shakiyah Perkins. Cornisha and Shakiyah's relationship stretched for 6 turbulent years. Both women were originally from Memphis, Tennessee, and in search of opportunity, they moved to Atlanta together. But the change of scenery did not erase their problems. If anything, the move magnified them. Their relationship was filled with conflict, jealousy, and control. Friends described it as chaotic, always swinging between highs and devastating lows. And as time passed, the conflict turned darker. When Cornisha made the decision to finally break free, Shakiyah refused to let her go. She harassed, stalked, and threatened her, using intimidation and violence to keep her tethered. The danger became visible in September 2021 when the abuse spilled into public view. While driving one evening, Shakiyah deliberately tried to force Cornisha off the road. She rammed her car on both the driver's and passenger's sides, endangering her life in an act that could have killed her. Cornisha escaped physically unharmed, but she was shaken. In disbelief, she texted a friend, "Fool, Shiki just tried to run me off the road." When her friend asked whether Shakiyah had truly tried to hurt her, she confirmed it plainly. "Yes, she hit my car both ways." Before we go further, let me ask you, if someone tried to run you off the road, would you ever feel safe again? Comment below. That incident should have been the red flag that forced permanent separation. But just weeks later, on September 25, 2021, the violence escalated even further. Police responded to a fire at Cornisha's home. Flames consumed her Jeep Wrangler, parked in the driveway, before spreading to her cherished pink Mercedes-Benz. Both vehicles were destroyed. Investigators quickly suspected Shakiyah. The fire wasn't random. It was a targeted act meant to ruin and terrify. Shakiyah was arrested and charged with multiple felonies, including first-degree arson, aggravated assault, and criminal damage to property. She had crossed a line into violence that should have kept her in custody. But instead, she was released after just 8 days behind bars. Her bond totaled $70,000, a decision prosecutors strongly opposed, warning that she remained a danger to Cornisha. It's a decision that raises haunting questions. Why was someone with such a clear history of violence granted bail at all? Why was her victim forced to live in fear while she walked free? Cornisha did what she could to protect herself. She petitioned the court for a restraining order. It was granted for 1 year, and the order required Shakiyah to stay at least 200 yards away from her. For a while, that seemed like a line of safety. But as in so many abusive relationships, the cycle of violence and reconciliation pulled them back together. Despite the restraining order, Shakiyah reappeared in her life. On Valentine's Day 2022, she publicly posted a video of the two together on Facebook, captioned, "Happy Valentine's Day to my sweet and sour wife. Us against the world. 6 years of toxic love I wouldn't do with no one else but you, my love." What looked like love online was, in reality, a dangerous pattern of control. Cornisha may have wanted peace or normalcy, but her decision to let Shakiyah back in only gave her abuser another opportunity. And by late 2022, when Cornisha tried again to permanently move on, Shakiyah's anger only deepened. Cornisha was hopeful for the first time in years. She had finally secured a new home for herself and her children. She proudly shared photos of it on Facebook, writing, "Been in Atlanta going on 2 years. The best decision we could have made. My kid's been through hell and back with me. It's only right I give them a life I never had. For her, it wasn't just a house. It was a symbol of freedom and safety, a fresh start she desperately wanted to give her children. If you believe survivors deserve safety when starting over, type "Justice for Karnisha" in the comments to honor her memory. But Shakia was not ready to let her go. In the weeks before the murder, her text messages turned from harassment to direct threats. In one message, she wrote, "Okay, pay your insurance. My mind is made up. You will be dead soon, so keep talking. That's what I want you to do. I'm going for first degree, not second," and I stamped that. These weren't empty words. They were an admission of her intent. On November 16, 2022, she carried out that threat. That morning, Shakia stormed into Karnisha's home. Inside were Karnisha, her 2-year-old son, and her mother, who was recovering from a stroke and unable to help. Shakia confronted Karnisha, left briefly to retrieve a gun from her car, then returned and shot her in the head. The act was cold, deliberate, and final. Surveillance footage later confirmed those chilling moments. Shakia running outside, grabbing the weapon with her left hand, and coming back inside to end her ex's life. Thankfully, Karnisha's 3 older daughters were at school and did not witness the murder. But when they returned home later that day, they learned the devastating truth. Their mother was gone forever. If you've been watching this far, please take a moment to like this video. It helps us tell more stories like Karnisha's, stories that deserve to be heard. After her arrest, Shakia was charged with first-degree murder, possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony, and cruelty to children. The evidence against her was overwhelming. Between the text messages, the surveillance video, and eyewitnesses, there was no escaping accountability. Facing trial, she eventually pled guilty. In exchange for the plea, she received a sentence of life in prison with the possibility of parole. The earlier charges, arson, assault, property destruction, and threats, were dismissed as part of the deal. Prosecutors accepted it to guarantee a conviction in the murder case and to spare Karnisha's family the trauma of a long trial. Still, the questions linger. Why was she free on bond in the first place? Why was the restraining order not enough to protect her? And why was the system unable to stop an abuser who had already shown exactly how far she was willing to go? The aftermath for Karnisha's family has been devastating. Her sister posted on Facebook, "My baby, my sister, my girl. I've been trying to process this all day, and I can't. Nisha, I have no words. I'm so lost right now. My heart is hurting so bad." Her brother's words were equally heartbreaking. "My sister, my twin, my ribs, my mommy, my other half of me. My scar from this is deep and probably can't be fixed. I love you more than anything. I was supposed to protect you. Now I'm here breaking down in tears." For her 4 children, the loss is immeasurable. They will grow up without the mother who worked tirelessly to provide for them, who dreamed of giving them a life better than her own. They are left with memories instead of guidance, grief instead of love, and an absence that no one can replace. This tragedy is also a sobering reminder of the broader failures of the justice system when it comes to domestic violence. Despite repeated warnings, the road rage, the arson, the threats, the restraining order, Shakia was allowed to remain free until it was too late. Fulton County District Attorney Fonnie Willis has since stressed the urgent need for a family justice center in Atlanta, a place where victims can turn for comprehensive help, legal guidance, housing, counseling, and safety planning. Senior Assistant District Attorney Travis Thomas, who prosecuted the case, said that despite 2 tours in Iraq with the Army, his work in domestic violence has been some of the hardest he's ever done, because it shows firsthand how unchecked abuse spirals into tragedy. What happened to Karnisha Butler was intentional, calculated, and preventable. She was finally ready to start a new chapter to raise her children in peace. Instead, her life was taken by jealousy and control, and the very systems meant to protect her failed to act in time. If you or someone you know is experiencing domestic violence, please don't wait. There are organizations and hotlines ready to help. Seek safety, reach out, and take every threat seriously. My condolences to Karnisha's family, her children, and everyone who loved her. She should still be here. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe, share this video, and help spread awareness. Because sometimes telling the story is the only way to honor the life that was lost.